channel. I haven't been able to get the bike out and go out in the back country very much this year yet, for a couple of different reasons. But it's certainly been a bit of a busy year. Working a lot of overtime and just busy with family stuff. I got a little bit of free time today, so I thought I would take the KLX out. Just go for a bit of a drive ride around the city. And maybe stop somewhere and have a bit of a chat. But for now, just enjoy the sights and sounds of the city and the sound of the KLX. This is sort of the downtown core area, sort of off in that direction, but this is the edge of it. This is the third largest city in this province. Calgary is the largest, then Edmonton, and then this city. Of course, Calgary's like 1.4 million, Edmonton's like 1.3 or something like that. And this city's about 110,000, something like that. Sure where we'll go. We'll just drive right around a little bit. Oh, I hate it when the lights aren't synchronized. You got to stop every few minutes or a few seconds. That's horrible. Usually they're synchronized. There. Guess we got to make a bit of a detour. Oh, it looks like an MBC. Maybe I'll see if I can find a spot for us to go. Maybe look. There's a lookout here, not too far away. We'll go stop there and have a bit of a chat. Interesting story right here on this corner. We had a call once, quite a few years ago, probably 17 years ago. Some guys walking around with machine guns and in military gear. So myself and one other police officer went and did some patrols. We found them like literally right here. So we stopped and drew out our pistols on them and had them drop their guns and proned them out. Turned out they were actually two stragglers who were part of an army platoon, part of the reserves, and the rest of their platoon was quite a ways ahead of them, and they were just kind of out of shape and straggling behind, so it was just the two of them. So we confirmed with their platoon leader and then let them go, and they went on their way down that way, and we went about our day. It's kind of an interesting story. Yeah, was probably 17 years ago. Cemetery. So straight out in front of us is the downtown core. You can see the big building there, hopefully. So straight in front of us is the downtown core. That way is sort of the south end, and that way is sort of the north end. That's where I live, in the north end. It's kind of pretty out here. In the winter, when all the leaves are gone off of some of these trees anyways, you can really see the downtown core pretty good from up here. A little more closed in the summer. But you know, 20 years ago, I moved to this city, or we moved to this city. I graduated from the police academy in Regina, and then the same weekend I married my wife at the academy, and I had a brand new wife, a brand new 11-year-old daughter, and I had $50 to my name. Back in those days, you didn't get paid when you went through the academy, so any savings I had been completely depleted, and I literally had $50 in my bank account still, with a brand new wife, brand new daughter, and we moved to a brand new province, it's like a state, a brand new province, brand new city, with no family or friends. Yeah, and I had $50 to my name. Crazy when you think about it. So the first thing I did is I got a $10,000 loan and went from there. But you know, when I think back to this last 20 years, in fact, the very first attachment I was posted to is at the very bottom of this hill. You can't see it. You can kind of see the track right there. That's like a school, and right beside that, through those trees, is a police detachment. And that's where I was posted for my first 6 years. And then I did some transferring, and then I ended up at the main city detachment, which is downtown. And also most of my time actually was in the city here, was in the north end. There's another detachment in the north end, and that's where I was mostly posted. That's most of my work was up there. But you know, when I think about all the stuff that I've dealt with over 20 years of policing, and you know, it's funny, in the States, in America, a full career, you can collect a full pension. In the NYPD or LAPD or any other police force, or even the federal ones like the FBI and DEA and all of that, is 20 years. After 20 years, you can collect a full pension. And here in Canada, it's 25 years. So, but technically, I could kind of retire a little bit sooner because of all the medical things that I've had going on. So I could take a medical pension if I wanted to. But I'm not ready yet, so I'll probably go another 5 years. We'll see. One year to 5 years, somewhere in there. But yeah, when I think back of all the crazy things that I've gone to, the different calls that I've gone to, you know, with YouTube and the trigger words that the algorithm catches, you got to be kind of careful what you say. But you know, I've gone to everything from high-speed pursuits to, you know, all kinds of various ways that human life ends. A myriad of different ways that human life can end. I've gone to all of those many, many times. Crazy, just, you know, domestic assaults and other kinds of more serious, sensitive kinds of assaults that I guess the algorithm doesn't want me to say those certain words. All kinds of thefts and high-risk firearm calls and hundreds and hundreds of those kinds of calls in this city. You know, like I said, most of my career is in the north end up there. So I can go hardly down a street without remembering a call or a situation that I went to. And a little bit down here in the south, in the downtown core in the south, but particularly so in the north end. You know, some might think, how does it affect your Christian faith? Seeing so much of the dark, ugly, evil side of humanity. But you know, I honestly think if it wasn't for my Christian faith, I don't know how I would have dealt with it, how I would have got through everything. To me, the Christian faith, the Bible, Christianity, it's provided a lens for me to see and interpret everything that I've dealt with over the last 20 years, and even in my personal life over 50 years. You know, the book of Ephesians, chapter 1, if you read it, it's a pretty amazing chapter. It talks about how Christians or believers or the people of God are chosen before the foundation of the world. Chosen and predestined before the foundation of the world. Before the earth was created, before the universe ever existed, God knew and predestined his people to salvation. Now, it's not my opinion, that's just literally what the Word of God says. There's a bit of a mystery there, that's for sure. But it is just amazing, and that gives me a huge sense of confidence to face life and to deal with all the garbage and crap that you see as a police officer. But yeah, I mean, you look at this and it looks so pretty out here. But when you're a cop, you see the bad side of this city, of any city really. But yeah, if you have a chance, just read Ephesians chapter 1 and just see what you think of it. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. Instead of just doing a once-over quick cursory reading of it, really think about what it's saying. And even chapter 2, or even the whole book really. But it is pretty deep stuff and pretty amazing when you think about it and you study it and you start to understand the implications of it. And it is a great sense of confidence and hope for me that there is a much bigger cosmic level plan unfolding all around us and in the background. We're a part of it, we're a small part of it, but there is some big stuff going on. We are not the center of the universe. Pretty cool. And I love that stuff. It really just sparks something in me, and it's pretty cool that the Lord revealed this stuff to us and allows us to read it and to study it, dissect it, ponder it, memorize it. He didn't need to, but he did. He revealed a lot to us. Some mystery. Obviously, his mind is so much bigger than ours, and his ways are so much deeper and bigger than ours. He's infinite, we're finite. But the stuff he has revealed is truly, truly amazing. Anyways, let's fire up the bike and get back home. It's a little bit hot. I'm starting to sweat pretty good. So we'll get back home and cool down with the fan. Feels better with the wind blowing on me. The armory, this is where the reserve program is, where those soldiers from that story a few minutes ago came from. This is kind of like, if I had a favorite street, this would be it. It's super, super pretty at night. Some really nice houses down here too. Like, look at that with the trees and everything. So nice. And there's some, like, these houses are generally older. Although there's some newer builds down here too, but I really like a couple of the houses down here. This is probably my favorite one on this street. This kind of like this one too, but mainly this one. That guy's so cool looking. You know what? I'll head back where we just came from, and I'll show you my favorite house in the city. I don't know why. I just think it's kind of cool looking and kind of pretty. this area has a lot of the older homes that were built probably 100, 120 years ago. But some of the homes have been kind of destroyed, and then some new builds have been put up on the lots. And that's the house I'm going to show you in a minute. That's one of them. So it's not this one, but this is one of the newer builds in the area. It's kind of a more modern look. There's actually two really cool houses down here, but this one right here is my favorite for whatever reason. So pretty. A nice looking house. It's kind of nice because the river's right there. And then right here is another kind of cool looking house. It was for sale about a year and a half ago. I think it was like just over $1 million. Anyways, that's just a little bit out of my my ability to buy. That would definitely be a few overtime shifts. Down that favorite street again. Gotta go basically this way anyway, so we might as well go check that street out again. Now you should see this at night. It's so pretty. Yeah, look at some of these houses, hey? Bit of a shortcut.